Today we're going to be taking a look at a very easy and simple upgrade for your vehicle suspension. So this right here is a 2022 Ford F-450, and we're going to be showing you the SuperSprings SuperStops. We're going to go over some specs, then we're also going to show you how to install, but first we're going to hook up to a trailer and show you them in action. As you can see, we hooked up a trailer and it's not small. So this is really going to put these things to the test and see what it's going to perform like with a very, very heavy load. With the SuperStops installed, we already have that overload spring activated, which is what we were really looking for. As you can see, without the SuperStops, we have plenty of room here. So adding these is definitely going to help out. Here we go. Already I can just feel the suspension being a little bit tighter. Even just going on just these little tiny bumps in our parking lot, I can already feel the suspension being a lot more stiff. So this isn't going to smoothen your ride out at all. It's just going to kind of help all your other suspension springs just from getting a little overloaded. I just hate having 5 different springs, but one of them never is really being used at all, unless I have like a lot of weight on it. At least this way, get them all working for you. Now let's get underneath there and actually see what we're working with. The SuperStops are made of a high impact polypropylene, so it is going to be extra tough, just as tough as the other rubber ones that we took out, but a little bit tougher in my opinion. There's 3 different pieces here. So right now we are from the very, very bottom of our little hanger to the bottom of our SuperStop. It's about 3 inches, but if you don't want these overload springs to be engaged right away, we can take this little middle section out and that'll bring it from 3 inches down to 2 inches. So you can really swap stuff out to see what actually works best for your setup. But let's run through the really, really quick and easy installation together. Let's grab some chalks and chalk up the front wheels. And then we want to raise this back end up, but we want to do it so the suspension's going to sag, so don't do it by the axle or anything. I'm just using the hitch. I'm going to jack this thing up just to give us a little bit more room to work with. Now we're going to remove the factory hardware that came on here from the get-go. So that right here is what we're going to take out. Notice how there's a little notch up top. So I'm going to come in here with an assortment of tools. I think a pry bar is going to be the best, just to slide it in and try to pop it out. And I'm just going to go ahead and try it. Definitely going to need at least one more so we pull this thing evenly. Maybe just a flathead screwdriver. There it is. All right, so you can do that on the other side. There's gonna be 2 for each side. So this is a 3-piece. We have the bottom section, we have the middle section, and then the top. I mean, there's that stud going down here. So let's go ahead and put this in. We're gonna have a washer right there, and then we're going to have a nut on top. We can do that for both sides, and then we can tighten it down. And all you're going to need is a 9/16 inch socket or a wrench to tighten this up. We want to make sure it stays nice and put while we're doing this and doesn't want to rotate. Then grab your torque wrench and torque it down to the specs in our instructions. Now we're ready to lower this down and remove our chocks and see what kind of performance we're getting out of these things. All right, so everything's good there. And as you guys can see, there's no gap between our new bounce stops compared to our stock ones, which is good. And that right there is one of the easiest ways to increase your suspension on your 2022 Ford F-450. And again, these were the SuperSprings SuperStops.